Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome, everyone, to today's Explainer. We're looking at something incredibly unique today. We are decoding the mind-bending feature layout for the Dragon Rift Saga, a concept published by the very intriguing Bibebibebibe Magazine. You know, if you love dense, highly detailed world building that blurs the line between academic frameworks and pure science fiction, you are in for an absolute treat. We're going to unpack this vast conceptual layout piece by piece to really figure out what this universe is all about. Right from the jump, the creator set a massive, ambitious stage with this quote. It reads, "Dragon Rift Saga is a vision, a mythos in development. We share it here to inspire, to invite dialogue, and to imagine what cinema could become." Notice the language they use there. They aren't just pitching a standard story, they're proposing an entirely new cinematic mythos. It's visionary, it's a little bit mysterious, and it immediately establishes that the TrueFlow Multiverse is aiming to completely redefine the boundaries of traditional storytelling. To navigate all this rich material, we've got a clear map for this explainer. First, entering the TrueFlow Multiverse. Second, the Sovereign Diagnostic. Third, Archetypes of the Saga. And finally, Chapter 1, Origin. Section 1. Entering the TrueFlow Multiverse, the fusion of science and spirit. And just for context, this conceptual feature layout was published on May 27, 2026. So the crucial point is that the Dragon Rift Saga is definitely not your standard cinematic universe. It's explicitly defined as an exploration of the fusion of science, spirit, and multiverse storytelling. The creators are taking these highly esoteric spiritual elements and merging them directly with complex scientific frameworks to build out their narrative. And this matters because it demands we rethink how stories are built. It's a universe where the metaphysical is just as tangible, just as measurable as the mechanical. And to truly understand this universe, we have to look at the architect behind it all. The mythos is certified and founded by Dr. Sewell, who holds both a Master of Science and a Ph.D. But look at his distinctly unique titles within this specific framework. He's the academic dean and diagnostic architect at the Cosmic University of Echo Rift Studies IX. He's also the CEO of TrueFlow Games and Sovereign Diagnostics. Basically, we're seeing the creator frame himself as an enthusiastic academic explorer, building this vast sci-fi mythos strictly through a really complex institutional lens. Section 2. The Sovereign Diagnostic. A visionary disclaimer. This institutional lens brings us right to the visionary disclaimer attached to the project, and really the meta-purpose of the entire saga, which leads us to a pretty fascinating question. What exactly is the purpose of this mythos? Why build such a dense, complex structure just to tell a story? Well, as we look at the project's official disclaimer, we see that the Dragon Rift Saga is attempting to accomplish something far heavier and more diagnostic than just standard entertainment. The source material describes its contents, the Echo Rift films and magazine posts, using some seriously demanding academic language. These aren't just scripts. Actually, they're authored as mythic infrastructure, a cinematic indictment, and a sovereign broadcast. And their targeted concepts? They're exposing ritualized containment, actor convergence, and systemic erosion. In simpler terms, he's mapping out real-world systemic breakdowns using the canvas of multiverse lore. Now, reading this, we have to approach it neutrally as a fascinating diagnostic exercise. The creator is using the framework of cinema and multiverse lore as an active tool to map out and diagnose what they see as complex systemic issues. It's a highly philosophical undertaking. But the creator is also incredibly careful to maintain strict neutrality. The text explicitly states that these interpretations, glyphs, and collapse protocols are solely diagnostic tools. They are definitely not political endorsements, nor are they affiliated with any government, political party, intelligence agency, or activist group. We're imparting exactly what the source dictates here. This is a purely independent, sovereign cinematic indictment, totally free from traditional political structures. It's an observational tool wrapped right in a mythos. Let's move to and see how this builds into the actual lore and characters of the TrueFlow Multiverse. Section 3, Archetypes of the Saga, the conceptual roster. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the wild, totally unapologetic mashup we see in the cast of characters. Look at this roster. We've got original academic personas mapping directly alongside legendary anime icons. You have Dr. Sewell himself functioning as the tech pulse and intellect of the universe. Then you've got the protagonist, Saikou Venga, representing divine resonance and aura flow. But right next to them, in the exact same conceptual table, we have Goku acting as the anchor of strength and Shenron representing cosmic balance. It's a completely uninhibited blending of original esoteric lore with massive pop culture titans, and they're all treated with equal academic weight. No way you see that every day. Section 4, Chapter 1, Origin, the birth of Saikou Venga. Let's look at the in-universe narrative that actually kicks off the Dragon Rift Saga. The foundational, inciting cosmic event of the entire saga is described in just a few powerful words. Saikou Venga emerges from the rift. This is the exact moment the overarching story is catalyzed, but it's where he emerges from that is absolutely crucial to the lore.
And this brilliantly illustrates the rift we just mentioned. It isn't just an empty space. It's this incredibly volatile boundary between two distinct universal forces. On one side, you have slip flow. On the other side, you have counterflow. Saikou Venga is born exactly in the precarious space right between these two massive opposing currents. It instantly sets him up as a character defined by balance, tension, and extraordinary cosmic forces.
Because he's born in that specific tension between slip flow and counterflow, Saikou Venga is marked by something called the SH1 resonance. I love letting this specific sci-fi jargon breathe for a second. SH1 resonance. It acts as a unique cosmic marker, kind of like a metaphysical fingerprint that proves his exact origin within the rift. It's details exactly like this that give the TrueFlow Multiverse its deeply atmospheric, textured vibe. You know, it isn't just a story. It's a scientifically and spiritually defined ecosystem. We've explored the fusion of esoteric spirit, diagnostic philosophy, and some incredible multiverse world-building today. But ultimately, the creator of the Dragon Rift Saga leaves us with a massive challenge regarding the future of storytelling itself. So I leave you with this final thought. How might these diagnostic tools and mythic infrastructures reshape what cinema could become? It's a bold vision from Dr. Sewell and Bibebibebibe Magazine, and it absolutely leaves you wanting to explore what else might be waiting inside the rift. Thank you for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.